Okay, let's just jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're exploring the fascinating mystery behind literally one of the most hauntingly beautiful graves in the world. It's a story sitting right at the crossroads of profound human grief, mind blowing early 20th century science, and, a paranormal mystery that's captivated imaginations for decades. We're starting our journey deep inside the dark, kind of eerie halls of the Capucine catacombs of Palermo, Sicily. And down there, hidden among all that vast history, a century-old secret is waiting for us. It all centers around one specific, very small grave that draws visitors from literally all over the globe. Part 1. A hauntingly beautiful grave. We're going to trace the timeline here, from the tragic passing of Rosalia in 1920 through decades of chilling rumors, all the way to how modern scientists eventually stepped in to debunk the myth. So the story kicks off with an absolute tragedy back in 1920. A little 2-year-old girl named Rosalia Lombardo lost her life to pneumonia. It's just a brutal reminder of the medical realities back then. She was only a toddler, right? And her sudden passing created this massive void that her family they couldn't accept it. Completely heartbroken, her father approached Alfredo Salafia. Now, Salafia was a famed embalmer, and the father practically begged him to preserve her body. He just couldn't bear the thought of losing her to the earth. So he turned to the cutting-edge science of the time, because Salafia wasn't your run-of-the-mill mortician. He was famous for these incredibly unique, highly effective chemical formulas. And guys, it's been over 100 years since then. An entire century. Wars, shifting eras, the whole shebang has passed above ground. But down below, Salafia did his job so perfectly that time literally stopped for Rosalia in 1920. It's no wonder she earned the nickname Sleeping Beauty. This miracle of chemistry is absolutely wild. Thanks to Salafia's work, her hair, her delicate eyelashes, her skin, they remain completely intact today. It's widely considered one of the best preserved bodies in human history. Salafia's formula was basically a masterclass in chemistry, completely halting the natural processes that eventually claim us all. Which brings us to part 2, the eerie phenomenon. So here's the question that's been terrifying and totally fascinating people for decades. Is Sleeping Beauty actually waking up? Just imagine it. You're walking through these dim, dead silent catacombs, you look down at a child who's been gone for a century, and suddenly, you get the feeling she's looking right back at you. Now, seriously, for decades, visitors swore up and down that Rosalia was opening and closing her eyes. And we're not talking about one isolated report from some easily spooked tourist. This was a consistent, decades-long phenomenon. People would leave the catacombs absolutely convinced they just saw this child blink. And adding major fuel to the fire, photos taken just hours apart seemed to show her eyelids shifting. I mean, you can imagine the frenzy this caused, right? Visitors would take a photo in the morning, another in the afternoon, and the gap between her eyelids actually looked wider or narrower. To the untrained eye, it looked, beyond a shadow of a doubt, like she was blinking from beyond the grave. Now for part 3, the scientific truth. So, we're left with 2 options: the terrifying paranormal myth of beyond the grave blinking, or the actual truth, an optical illusion finally debunked by scientists. Turns out, you don't need a ghost to explain this. You just need some basic physics and an understanding of how light works. Let's break down exactly how this illusion happens. Step 1. Ambient light slowly filters in from the high windows and moves across the room throughout the day. Step 2. The underground environment goes through these very slight natural changes in humidity. But here's the absolute kicker, the real secret. Her eyes were actually never fully closed to begin with. They've been permanently cracked open a tiny fraction of a millimeter since 1920. So, when that shifting light hits those slightly parted eyelids and the humidity changes reflect off the glass of her case, it completely plays tricks on your eyes. It perfectly mimics an eyelid lifting and falling. It's basically a perfect storm of lighting and masterful embalming. So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Considering all the incredible science involved here, what's the true miracle? Is it a spooky optical illusion created by the sun? Or is it the undeniable, century-spanning perfection of Salafia's chemistry, preserving a father's love in such stunning, lifelike detail? Think about that the next time you hear a ghost story. Because sometimes, the real world, it's way more magical than the myth.